Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lucy and this is episode 2 of the series I'm doing on my journey with bipolar illness. So if you're new to my channel, please hit that red subscribe button and tap the bell, and let's get right into it. If you didn't listen to the series prior to this, I suggest you do so. If not, just stick with me. Okay, we left off in episode 1 when I lived in the Philippines, and prior to that I had talked about living in Hawaii. And when I first noticed the illness coming on, I was 13 years old. I knew that there was a feeling of doom inside of me, a feeling of severe sadness, and I knew that there was no reason, no rhyme nor reason for me to be feeling these feelings. But I was feeling them. And I kept these thoughts and feelings to myself till I finally went to my mother and I said, "Mom, something's not right with me. I just feel so sad." And she said, "Why? You have everything in the world that you could ever want. You have the best of the clothes, you have the best, you're living in paradise in Hawaii, you get to go to the beach practically every day, you've got the best of friends." And inside of myself, I kind of felt discounted. I thought, yes, I do have all these things, but I'm not having what I want. And I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. So I really wish then my mom, knowing the history of mental illness that riddled through our family prior, her sister was institutionalized. My great grandfather, I think in the other episode I said my grandfather committed suicide, but my great grandfather committed suicide. My mother didn't know she was ill until she was up in her mid-50s. But then she went in complete denial. So I'll talk about that later. So we left off in the Philippines, and then my father noticed, well, maybe if I just bring her back to the United States, she'll come out of these spells where she goes in and out of depressions. And so we moved. He got stationed to move back to Louisiana, but I decided I didn't want to go with them. I was an adult then. I was, all of that of 18 years old, and I was going to Miami, Florida. Yep, I was heading to Miami, Florida, and I was going to live with my sister. So that was a big uproar in the family. Let me get a little sip of my tea. Everybody was pretty upset about that. The parents, at least. My sister was thrilled because she was getting her baby sister back. And so I moved there, and I loved Miami. I felt like I was back in paradise, like Hawaii was. Got to go to the beach all the time, and the water there is just crystal clear, gorgeous. And I got me a fairly good job. I mean, to be 18 years old, I worked at, let me think what it was. It was like a, not Walmart's. I can't even think of the name of it. It was just a little store, and I was a cashier. And at least I was making enough to pay a car note and do okay. But even though I was happy to be with my sister, I kept wanting to go back to the school and my friends. Well, I couldn't go back to school because I'd graduated, but I wanted to go back to my friends in Missouri. And I had a boyfriend that I had left there, and that's all I could think about. Get me back to Missouri. And it was killing my sister because she's thinking, because she has age, 7 years on me, and she's thinking, I'm telling you right now, Lucy, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same when you get there. So just remember that. And so I talked to my best friend and I told her I'm going to fly into St. Louis and I'm coming back, baby. And it's going to be just like it was when I was there. Partying all the time, having the best times. I was just so excited, and she was too. So I fly into St. Louis, and that night was not the night to pick to fly into St. Louis. I remember this like it was yesterday. I flew in, and it was the worst storm in the world, the worst storm. And my good friend Annie, she had her boyfriend Walter that she went on to marry and have children with. He was driving us out of St. Louis, and we were on I-44, and I mean, we were hitting so many big water spots, hydroplaning, and he had this really nice Mustang, and we were swerving this way and that way, and I was scared shitless, and I would scream, and he'd grab my hand, and he'd say, I had a nickname then, they'd call me Zipper. Go ahead and laugh, because I was very, very tiny. If I weighed 105, I weighed at 105 wet. He'd grab my hand, he'd say, Zip, we got you, girl. You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And he was always wild anyways, and had real long hair, and it was just flying every direction. He was a good looking guy, but I was thinking, God, we're going to get killed before I get back to my hometown in Missouri that I love so much. And we made it fine. We got there fine. Even though I was like this, my nerves were frazzled. And so I started living with my girlfriend, Annie. And I remember that first week, I thought, let me get another sippy. This is like therapy to me, so just hang in here. So I thought, isn't this interesting? I guess my older sister was right, because nothing was the same. I'd go, Annie, where's so-and-so? Oh, they're in college now. Okay. Where's so-and-so? They're at SMU. Everybody went to college. I'm surprised you're here. I thought, I am too now, because my parents were so angry with me when I took off for Miami. They wanted me to go straight into college and not mess around and get my degree and go into business and get my degree in business. And so there was this guy I dated for a long time, and he was the boyfriend that I came back to see, and he was older, 4 years older than me, and so he already had his degree, and so I started seeing him again and everything, and then about 2 or 3 days later, I had a friend say, I was in St. Louis, and I went to, there was some park up there. I can't even think of the name of the park. And I seen so-and-so with so-and-so, and that was my boyfriend with another girl. And I thought, I gave up everything for this man. And it hurt to the core. And so when I went back to my girlfriend Annie's house and told her what Vicky had told me, she said, well, you know, he's a player. And I said, yeah, I know he's a player, but I'm not going to be played. I can't take this. And she goes, you can't just come here and then leave 2 weeks later. And I said, oh, yes, I can. I said, I love you like a sister. I'm going to miss you dearly. But right now, I am so sick and I'm not feeling right. And I went to a doctor just because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was sick on my stomach. And the worst thing that doctor could have gave me was Valium. He gave me Valium. And here I am, just this little bitty 105-pound girl that's most likely homesick because I'd never really been away from my parents, and thinking I'm grown, and plus have an underlying mental illness that I don't know what I have. So we're going to stop right here, and then we'll continue again when I get to Louisiana.